I'm Luke Waters. I've been on the front lines in Syria, covering a conflict on a massive scale. And now I meet the man in the middle of it all.
Australian politicians have used very strong language about your role in the crisis. The Prime Minister has referred to you as a murderous tyrant. Australia's opposition leader has called you a butcher. Mr. President, thank you for speaking with SBS Australia.
You're most welcome.
Protest started about half a kilometre from the university gates, but these demonstrators are determined for Barack Obama to feel their presence. They want to get right to the gate for his arrival.
But 4 people died in the blast here, and locals say they had no known links to Hamas.
World News reporter Luke Waters joins us now live from Bali. Luke, what's been the reaction at Kerobokan prison?
Good evening, Janice. Well, it's clearly a devastating decision for Andrew Chan, Myuran Sukumar and their respective family, friends and supporters who joined them at the jail here today.
Another term of unfulfilled promises and rumours of corruption could spell significant change for the ANC.
This is literally the front line of the Syrian civil war, and we're told that the rebel groups could be between 20 and 50 metres away.
Here in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is also claiming victory, saying what he calls terrorist infrastructure has been destroyed.
Official estimates have the population at around about 150,000, but people here say it's closer to 300,000, making crime even more difficult to control. This is one of the most natural disaster-prone regions in the world, meaning earthquakes, tsunamis and volcanic ash are also a factor.
And SBS reporter Luke Waters joins us now live from Melbourne. Luke, a truly shocking turn of events today. What's the mood in the city streets tonight?
Good evening, Janice. In the minutes after the incident took place, there was a state of confusion. Police choppers hovered above the city and sirens rang out, and people were legitimately concerned that this may have been an act of terror.
The temperature here today will reach the low to mid-30s and the working day will last a little over 6 hours, but for these kids there'll be few breaks. The wage is $5 per day. There are more than 10,000 Democratic Alliance supporters packed into this stadium. There's a strong anti-ANC, anti-Zuma sentiment, but what these people are really passionate about is change.
This bid for clemency is not in any way an attempt to undermine Indonesia's rule of law or its sovereignty.
But rebel groups have made several attempts to take Damascus. One was here in the city's east, where Jabhat al-Nusra and the Army of Islam seized this precinct for about 3 weeks.
And Luke has now left Damascus and joins us from the relative safety of the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Luke, good evening to you. One of the things that came up in the interview, of course, so let me ask you about that. What do you think of the chances of him solely focusing on the more extreme rebel groups and leaving his more moderate opponents alone?
Anton, I'd say that's highly unlikely. President Assad has made it very clear that he views himself as the democratically elected president of what he describes as a democratically elected government. And while others may view opposition groups as moderate or extreme, he sees it that if somebody takes up arms against this so-called democratically elected government, then they are terrorists. Accordingly, he refuses to negotiate with them, and that makes moving forward toward any kind of a peace solution problematic and complicated.
Thanks, Luke. That's Luke Waters updating us live from Beirut.